Welcome and Jai Hind to the podcast The Gurkha Guard, where we embark on the journey to inspire, create joy and happiness. Today we have Captain Uday Shriwas, a former military officer, sharing his experiences about happiness on this platform. So come with me, your host Major Saravana, an ex-Gurkha officer of the Indian Army. After selfless service to the nation, I bring on the experience, the passion and commitment to this platform. So let's see what we have got from Captain Uday waiting for us. The first podcast which we shoot today, we have our guest Captain Uday Shriwas. Sir is an ex-army officer from the arms of Signal Regiment and served extensively in various terrains of country, including Kupwada and various zones in country. Served in Rashtra Rifles with varied experience. Sir today serves in IDFC Bank. It's a pleasure that we have Captain Uday Shriwas and a stalwart for the SS fraternity in Pune. He has been interacting across the country for SS. So, sir, welcome to the podcast, The Gurkha Guard.
Thank you, Savannah. And firstly, heartiest congratulations on starting a new journey. Coming from the armed forces and getting into media is not an easy thing. So it takes courage. So I think I must say it's a courageous step. So welcome to the world of media. And I'm very sure that whatever you are bringing together by virtue of this podcast is going to help everyone in every walk of life. So it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Sir, like we've been speaking, sir, and our connect is that forge, that the cord of connection between us is that military connection which we have. Irrespective, you are much senior in this service. We left long back, and with the corporate experience, you are all shined. And you've been helping people to, even in the youngsters to come into the corporate zone. One of the key aspects I found is, sir, you always dwell on happiness, and you say that's the core of humanity, the happiness agenda. Uh, Now, sir, I would like to come back to the aspect when you say read about happiness in generic terms. Let's say, I believe, sir, happiness is in generic happiness, whether it is in Fauj or in civil. It's say, oh, I've got this. This is my happiness. Oh, मैंने आज गाड़ी खरीद लिया. This is my happiness. Oh, I've got something good, so happiness. I've got married, happiness. I've got a great job, happiness. How do you relate this happiness part in your context, sir? Actually,
Yeah. So as you correctly said, in our life, we should have something which is our core of an existence. So from the time immemorial, from the monkey to a human being, the primary reason we are here is to live a happy life. That's what we always say, na, ki, live a happy life, lead a happy life. Now, what does it mean? So for me, if you ask me, it revolves around two F. One is family, another is friends. I keep it pretty simple. There is no reason to get confused because see, confusion will take away the happiness. When you are in a state of mind when things are clear, you'll always be peaceful and then you'll be happy. So where are you very peaceful? With your family, right? First, because they are gonna be with you all the time. And the happiness quotient becomes even bigger, exponentially bigger, when you are with your friends also. So it's pretty simple. Now, people will look at family as an immediate family, right? You came into this world because of your parents, that's your first family, your siblings, you got married, now you have a next generation with you. So we look at this as an immediate family. But you come from armed forces, I am from army, and we know that what family means to us. So like many times my mother keeps saying कि तू कहीं भी जाता है तो किसी के भी घर पे जाके खाना खा लेता है. मैं कहा मम्मी ये फौज है, मैं किसी भी दरवाजे पे किसी फौजी का नाम दे के अगर घंटी बजा दूंगा तो मुझे वहाँ पे एंट्री मिल जाएगी और हो सकता है मैं रात में वहाँ रुक भी जाऊँ. So that is the essence of family here. So like संस्कृत में कहते हैं वसुधैव कुटुंबकम. So when you look at family, if you just focus and you think everyone as a family, then there is no limit to happiness, right? So that is the way it is. Then in army we always say that बहुत कई बार जब आप बाहर किसी सिविल में जब जाते हैं या कॉर्पोरेट में होते हो या फिर जो नॉन फौजी इन्वायरमेंट होता है उसमें आप कोर्समेट की बात करते हैं, बोलते हैं यार these guys are crazy, they always keep talking about coursemate. But we know what a coursemate mean, right? And अगेन कोर्समेट का जो बेसिक फंडामेंटल्स है वो है फ्रेंडशिप. सो इफ यू आस्क मी, फ्रेंडशिप, आई थिंक वी actually live it in the armed forces. So if you are with your friends, you're always happy. So whatever you do it with these two basics, everything will fall in place. What do you do for family? You always take care of them. What do you do for family? You always want to give the best to them. You sacrifice for them. Same applies to friendship. Now look at it from the human angle. Would you like to do something for somebody? Yes. That gives you maximum happiness. सबसे ज़्यादा खुशी कब मिलती है किसी को? When he does something for someone, right? Nobody can say कि like when you started ना कि मेरे पास Mercedes है या मेरे पास बड़ा बंगलो है. How long you're gonna get happiness from there, right? Can you talk to a Mercedes? No, it's a material stuff. Can you talk to your house? No, it cannot. But in India, you will generally see even at the various junction when you are there are all kind of people. But then India is one place where you will see a smile on a person who's not wearing even a chappal and walking in a sun. But there's a guy who's sitting inside an AC car like a Mercedes. Probably he's still frowning and he doesn't know what is happiness. So happiness is all about your own core, and it revolves around family and friends. And I told you the definition of family and friends for me. So that is the crux of it, right?
So amazing, sir. Like the texture of friendship, the texture of family, and the derivation of happiness from these contexts are something which are true basis. That's what we say, that material does not give you happiness. In turns, materials are just an ad hoc happiness, or they're part of life. It's a journey that you take and it keeps adding. Yeah. Like I think when we go back to our childhood, small things of that kancha and things, those used to give us happiness. Those things which you get फिर जब बड़े हुए तो कुछ और चीज़ें हैं, and so on and so forth. So we grew like that. But connecting again happiness, see, we are aware that there's a lot of spiritual and humanity touch with a lot of officers, armed forces officers, because हमारे में like we say मंदिर परेड होता है और हम MMG बोलते हैं. मंदिर, मस्जिद और गुरुद्वारा हमारे एक ही है. So हमारे लिए सर्वधर्म स्थल कहते हैं, which is meant to be a religious place of oneness. Yeah. Irrespective, a guy coming from a Islam background or a Christian background or a Hindu background, an officer being a Sikh into a Madras regiment, that is what is a cultural, I would say, born homie that we carry, sir. To next linking question to the same thing, sir, how do you connect spirituality and happiness? Is there any connection
Yes.
derived out of that, sir?
Thanks for asking this. In fact, when I was coming, when I was thinking about what we're going to talk about, and when we had a conversation yesterday, I really wanted to start with this. I mean, हम जब स्कूल में थे तो हमें बोला जाता ना कि पहले प्रे करना चाहिए.
Yes, sir. True that.
The only prayer that we need to do in our life is Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Now, if you look at this is the crux again of all that religion. So, you talk about any religion. Is there any religion where there is no guru? There's a guru everywhere.
Sir.
You want to learn Quran, you need a Maulvi, right? You want to learn about Bible, you need a father. If you want to learn about Gita, you need to go to somebody who is knowledgeable. So, while it is in Sanskrit, it applies to every person in every religion, and actually, it is beyond religion, and that's where spirituality comes into place. So, again, I'll say only simple stuff. Is there a person in your life who can be called a guru? Right? Now, again, people connect it with a very different way. Who is a guru? Every interaction that leads you to happiness, knowledge, and peace is a knowledge of Guru and Shishya. I'll give a very simple example. Again, coming back to the very basics. The first person in your life, let's say in your family, when you wake up in the morning, either your wife or your kid. So when I talk to my son many a times, his name is Aryaman, and I get so amazed. I can't tell you the kind of knowledge that I get from him. So recently we were talking about books. So God has been kind, He has gifted him that love for books. So there's a very famous book, Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
Sir.
It's a very famous book, what
Yes.
bestseller.
Mm.
It's about a seagull,
Mm.
and seagull have a way of life,
Yes.
and this seagull is a rebellion, Jonathan. So I was trying to finish that book, very small, beautiful book. So I was trying to read the book, finish the book, and in the meanwhile, he got two other books, which are like 200 pages, and it's 10 years. उसने वो दो बुक खत्म कर दी एंड मैं इस बुक को खत्म ही नहीं कर पा रहा था तो somehow I got inspired मैंने कहा यार इससे तो कुछ सीखना चाहिए इसने दो बुक्स पढ़ भी ली मैं साला इतनी सी बुक नहीं खत्म कर पा रहा हूँ एंड देन वन डे इन द मॉर्निंग आई woke up at 6 o'clock they were sleeping and I finished my last 20 pages in the morning
Sure.
and when he woke up he came straight to me well you're trying to read a book in the morning मैंने कहा हाँ I got inspired from you taught me to finish a book with concentration not leave it halfway okay which book is this I said this is Jonathan Livingston Seagull it's about a seagull मैंने कहा it's about a seagull it's a bird oh I know seagulls right okay so and
Okay.
then I was supposed to leave for Lucknow for 2 days so I said Nika why don't you try this book okay I'll look at it by the time I reached Lucknow I gave him a video call he was reading that book by the time I landed yesterday night he had finished that book and I was in the aircraft yesterday I called him मैंने कहा Arman how is it I finished Jonathan Siegel मैं कहा okay and I was thinking of writing a book review about this book and how he explained this book to me is so amazing. I said, what's your learning from the book? So he said, see, Jonathan is looking for a person who can teach him how to fly. Seagulls don't fly high. Seagulls have a tendency to go, walk, look for something which has come along with the waves, eat that and come back.
Come back.
Right?
Mm.
They don't dare. They are a
Yes.
bird.
Yeah.
They can fly. They got wings,
Mm.
but they don't try that.
Mm.
That's the mass mentality, which is keeping them limited. But Jonathan is a rebellion. He tries to do that. He takes a wings and flies, but then he's not somebody who has learned flying. Na? DNA में नहीं है. So he meets an elder. So that elder teaches him how to fly. Then he becomes a mentor, a guru to another one. And that guy becomes an elder to another one. So he just explains, Jonathan finds an elder, he teaches him to fly. Then Jonathan becomes an elder, he teaches another seagull to fly. And that guy now is an elder, now he's teaching to fly. And that's it. The book is over. Like, yeah, that's the crux of the book. The fundamental is again the simple. You have to have a person who is taking you on the right path. So when you say spirituality has been always in a very simple way. It's a guru shishya, right? You have a teacher and you want to learn, you have to become the disciple. And this principle is beyond religion. So if you look at spirituality, it can transcend religions and it can keep this world again a very happy place to stay. You can learn from anybody, from anywhere, from anywhere, right? You have to think like a disciple and you have to also at times become guru, right? Not everyone can be privileged to learn, but you have a chance because you got learning, because you have been in the armed forces, you have learned so many things. If you do not impart this knowledge or share this knowledge, not even impart, I would say, if you can share this knowledge with anybody, right, then also you have done your bit. So one side, the learning has to be there. Like we said, life is a continuous learning.
Absolutely, sir.
So that's there.
Yeah.
But life is also about continuous sharing.
Yes.
You have to balance it. Keep learning, keep giving, keep learning, keep giving. And that's the whole cycle of life. And I would say that is where spirituality comes in a very big way. And every person should actually try and find a guru and also be a guru. Because if you do that, then you are always going to take this, the whole beautiful planet to a right direction. You have to learn good things and you have to keep learning good things.
Very truly said, sir, because India, the land of Bharat, is a place of Guru Shishya Parampara.
Yes.
चाहे the individual is from फौज, whether जो इंडिविजुअल वो फौज से रहे या सिविल से रहे, हर बंदे का एक गुरु तो जरूर होता है. Like even our drill instructors who are NCO, we treat them like guru in the forge because they're not less than a guru.
Yes.
Right from the day when you enter the academy into the military, they teach you the bearing, the aspects of how an officer should look, and that an NCO derives. And we don't see him as a NCO, we see him as a guru.
I would just say one thing here. You know the the word called magnanimity, right? Larger C, and that huge heart, which is missing nowadays. Our hearts have become very small. But coming from the drill instructor, so drill instructor, for people to know who is a drill instructor, is like somebody who's teaching you the basics of walking in a left right thing,
Yes, sir.
which everyone in
Yeah.
the world sees on Rajpath. उसके बेसिक्स वो ड्रिल इंस्ट्रक्टर सिखाता है. Now he is teaching you for that many years, like almost a year in OTA where we're there, और NDI में 3 साल, IMA में 1.5 साल. जब आप पास आउट होते हो, इमेजिन ही इज अ गुरु, राइट? ही इज टीचिंग यू. जब आप पास आउट होते हो, जब आप स्टार्स पहन के उसके सामने आते हो, तो द सेम गुरु सल्यूट्स यू.
Salute. Definitely, sir.
इमेजिन उस बंदे का लेवल, मतलब उसमें कितना बड़ा दिल है कि जिस बच्चे को उसने 1.5 साल ड्रिल सिखाई, आज जब उसके सामने, बिकॉज उसके शोल्डर पे 2 तारे हैं,
Stars है.
वो उसको सल्यूट कर रहा है.
Of course, sir. That's the.
I think it teaches you a lot. I mean, like, sorry to say, but what army can teach you in life, I don't think people can imagine.
Certainly, sir.
So,
It's
I
a way
mean,
of learning. Completely, it's a way of
I
learning. Yeah.
know you have been in NCC also,
Sir, yes, sir.
right? So, again, a beautiful organization. If this country has more and more kids going to NCC, not everyone can become a armed forces personnel,
Absolutely.
but you
sir.
get a chance to wear a uniform in an
Yes.
NCC cadet. Who
Yes.
stops you?
Yes.
There is no entry barrier. In a school, you can join NCC.
True that.
And that love and affection as an NCC cadet you get from your friends, and you make great friends in NCC also. So I think, if you ask me, there's lots to learn from uniform.
Yes. Sir.
And one should always wear one uniform in his life, whichever uniform. I mean, doctors also wear uniform, right?
I think, sir, society, whether it's lawyers, whether it's police or something.
Yeah.
But I, being a fourth generation to the army, sir, for me it was like a bloodstream.
Yeah.
The urge of joining the forces was something that I was destined to, and that is why I joined the army. NCC, the National Cadet Corps, is such a beautiful organization. When you get into that, you interact with many peoples across
Yes.
many countries when they come to camp. You have so many things to do with them. You learn them, you learn their cultural background. I participated in some camps like SNIP, which is Special National Integration Program.
NIC camps, yeah.
There is a Republic Day camp.
Yes.
So it's such a wonderful camp. Apart from you saying that you get your foodies to eat and goodies and thing, for
Yeah.
him to wear that uniform, stand
Yes.
with Army Chief,
Yeah.
the President of India.
Yeah.
I met then General VK Singh, sir, who was the Army Chief then.
Yes.
We went to his army house.
Wow.
And I was so honored and,
See,
privileged.
you are a guest in Chief's house.
Yes, sir.
And as
And as
a
a
young
cadet.
kid, as a 18-year-old guy.
18, less than that, sir, I think.
Listen that.
And
Yeah.
it was like something.
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps and destined. And when we received a package, so I still have a pen which
Yeah.
says best compliments from the Chief of Army Staff. And such an honor to receive that there, sir. So I think, sir, like you brought out uniform, gives you a certain mindset. When even a cadet, when he walks up,
Yeah.
you see him. Oh,
Yeah.
he's an NCC cadet. And certainly today you see the level of, whether we say today Gen Z
Yeah.
doesn't want to get in force, but I see it other way, sir. That's what my belief
I
is.
also agree. I also get to hear a lot of people saying कि यार फौज में कम जा रहे हैं बच्चे. If you really ask me, there are many who want to join फौज, and there are many who want to join फौज for all the right reason. कि भाई there is a way of life. Like army is a way of life, or armed forces or uniform forces are a way of life, and it is one way of life which can, like, in one lifetime, if you want to live a great life, then the uniform way of life is the best way to live life. That's been my, I would say, anchor in my life, armed forces and uniform, and it has given me everything in my life.
All
I
right.
came to this world thanks to my parents. They taught me well. संस्कार कह लीजिए जो हम मिलते हैं. एंड देन द सेकेंड टाइम जो कहते हैं ना कि फिर से कुछ सीखा, तो वो फिर फौज में सीखा है. तो आई थिंक everyone, either they should have somebody in force from their family, or they should themselves try to be in the armed forces.
Sir, could you please introduce yourself as on after you left army? How did you navigate through your corporate life, and where on as on date are you, sir?
So, I think to tell everyone about myself, so I joined the Indian Armed Forces in 2002, and we have many academies in this country, like Indian Military Academy in Dehradun, National Defense Academy in Khadakwasla. We also got Officers Training Academy in Chennai. So these are the three academies from where you get commissioned into the armed forces as a lieutenant. So I got commissioned as a lieutenant from OTA, Chennai, Officer Training Academy, Chennai, as an SS officer, Short Service Commission, and 2003, 8th of March 2003. And from then on, I have been in the armed forces for 5 years, traveled a lot of places in the country, and I've seen, जैसे हम सुनते हैं इंडिया में कहीं पे जन्नत है तो यही है वो
Yeah.
श्रीनगर एंड तो
Perfectly, sir. Yeah.
मैं बहुत लकी था आई वाज फर्स्ट पोस्टेड एज अ लेफ्टिनेंट टू अ प्लेस कॉल्ड कुपवाड़ा
Mhm.
इट्स लाइक वे अहेड ऑफ श्रीनगर एंड ब्यूटीफुल प्लेस I don't think one can see more beautiful places in this country. So that was my first tenure. After that, from there, I came to a wonderful place called Indore, the place where a lot of people want to go and have nice eats. So yeah, there I did my training further, and from there again I got posted to a unit all the way to Bihar. This time in Danapur.
Oh, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
लोग
from
उसको
Kupwara
सुनते ही
to
बोलते
Danapur. Danapur
हैं.
लोगों को पता भी नहीं है,
हाँ.
मुझे भी नहीं पता था. Landed in Danapur, next to Ganga,
Yeah.
and 1 year close to in Danapur. And from Danapur, again, we went back to Jammu and Kashmir, and this time to another place called Kishtwar. So I don't know if many people know the best kesar जो हम चाय में डालते हैं, खाने में डालते हैं, in the world comes from
Come
Kishtwar.
Kiswar. Yes, sir,
Yes.
correctly.
And fantastic place, beautiful place. Again, I've seen some places which are, I don't know how many of you seen Avatar movie, James Cameron ka.
Sir,
I literally had an experience of seeing something like that in Kishtwar,
amazing, sir. Nice.
and a waterfall coming down, unbelievable. So yeah, as a Fauji, I was lucky that I was there in Kishtwar for close to 1 year, did proper operations, so-called operations, which we keep hearing nowadays, counter-insurgency, counter-militancy, had the opportunity to serve the country. Then from there, the last time posting was in Chandi Mandir, which is in Chandigarh. So that's the place where I served for last 1.5 years in the armed forces. And 2008, I moved on and decided to come to the outside world and start my journey in the corporate. So in the corporate, I would say so-called private sector. I've been there for almost close to 14, 15 years now. Have served in 6 different organizations. And now presently, I am working with a bank, which you already said, is IDFC First Bank. And I'm based out of Pune. And yeah, that's the journey right now. That's it. That's about me.
Now, I would like to, like we were talking about happiness and questions and things. How do you connect your military service or during your OTA? You would have derived some happiness. सर जैसे होता है कि हमें ना वो चाय शाम की चाय मिल जाता था एकेडमी में वो
Yeah,
आ जाता
the
था
white
अपना
mug.
तो उससे ही खुशी हो जाती है कि यार दिस इज व्हाट इट वाज मेंट इनफैक्ट सर बिफोर इन आवर ट्रेनिंग डेज we as first timers were not authorized tea till the time we clear PT test.
PT test.
So it was something like a privilege to
Yeah.
have that tea, like enamel mugs were given. So if you
Yes,
remember,
yes.
I believe for all viewers, enamel mug is a mug, erstwhile from World War One. The white sedimented enamel was the enamel mug, but however later the steel enamel
Yeah.
mugs came in, sir. And so, sir, what was your happiness derivation in academy? Let's dwell more into that, sir.
Okay, so like the so-called OTA, like the Officer Training Academy in Chennai. First, it is in Chennai. So one must know that Chennai has got 3 weathers: hot, hotter, hottest.
Hottest.
Right?
There is no
There
mid
is
weather
no
actually,
no
sir.
other weather. So
Yeah.
whichever weather you are
Yeah.
sweating, and you're sweating
Yes,
like
sir.
hell.
Absolutely, sir.
And so a very small thing. Many times we feel ki how can taking bath can give you happiness.
Yeah.
You ask me when
Yeah.
we get up in the morning. Let's say 4:30. You have got up in the morning. You got ready. Went for your physical training per se. आपको आपका पीटी उस्ताद भगाएगा दौड़ाएगा लाइक 7:45 के आसपास आप आते हैं and you have 10 minutes to get ready and reach the place for breakfast. And in those 10 minutes, then you have that time to take that cold shower or a bath. I think that again is a huge relief. यार ठीक है सवेरे के 2 घंटे तो निकल गए
Yeah.
अब अपने को 10 मिनट
next-
हमारे मिले हैं and those 10 minutes also is a great relief, I would say, because OTA training is such that you will not even know when the first day you came and when the last day came, because it's so fast and furious. It's actually fast and furious. So yeah, that 10-minute cold shower once in the morning, then again when you come
I'll
back,
come back from the
evening
the
games.
classes.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I think that's a great sense of relief, because that is the only time when nobody can come and do anything to you. Otherwise, you don't know, somebody will come and say, okay guys, start
Start
rolling.
rolling.
There is a punishment. बाथरूम में कोई कुछ नहीं करेगा, आप नहा
Absolutely.
सकते हो.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is one great place to be happy. And you're also thinking at that time. See, because OT also gives you no time to think.
Absolutely, sir.
But in that shower, in those 5 to 10 minutes, you have that thinking time.
Thinking time.
What
Yeah.
happened with me in the morning? What's going to happen now?
After that,
Probably you want to remember your parents or your girlfriend or your brother or your sister.
you plan for
Of
contingency.
course, yeah.
हाँ,
And you're also thinking,
हाँ.
अगर आप जूनियर टर्म में हैं और आपके
हाँ.
सीनियर बाहर है तो you're also thinking यार सीनियर ना आ जाए,
हाँ.
right?
That is there, sir.
That is also there. So I think yeah, that's a great thing. But one moment I must tell you which has lived with me, and I really miss that. So OT is like that. You started your day at 4:30 in the morning, and in the evening after you have done your games, and then you are back to your barracks, and you have that enamel वाला time. चाय
Enamel
आपके
cup.
हाथ में है
Yes,
और
sir.
आपको biscuits मिलते हैं. So I'm talking about that time in the evening, and my barracks was such. So they used to face the. You remember the drill square behind?
The drill square, sir.
ड्रिल स्क्वायर के पीछे में सनसेट होता था, एंड मेरे बैरक्स जहाँ पे थे उसके बालकनी में आई शू गो देयर, टेक माई कप, stand there and see the sunset.
Oh,
And
very
I
nice,
tell
sir.
you, it was so peaceful. Like there's so much noise around us now. But in that moment, when the sun is setting and you are seeing the sun across the drill square,
Amazing, sir.
it is.
A
I still
heart-touching
miss.
scene.
I
Yeah.
still miss those beautiful moments.
Yes, sir.
They were the most, I would say, tranquil moments where you really had the most peaceful time in the life. And whenever I close my eyes and I want to think about the most beautiful moment or peaceful time, I can reimagine that scene time and again and again and again. It's like what? I mean, 2003 I was there. It's 2024.
So was Parakram then, sir? When you were, I think,
We got
2002
commission during that time.
the stage of
Yeah,
Parakram.
we got commission. It was almost about to get over.
Yeah. For viewers, Parakram was Operation Parakram, launched by Indian Army after the attack on Parliament. Right after Kargil 1999, the Indian Army was mobilized to the sectors of Western India. This particular operation was not a large-scale war, but of course a kind of a defense preparation by the Indian Army to avert any kind of national interest against the enemies. So the officers commissioned during the period between 2002 to 2003 were all engaged in Operation Parakram. So, coming back to the major aspects, sir, today, let's say a lot of gurus have come in, sir. Like we spoke about gurus, we have Sadhguru, we have so many things. We have also read about Milarappa, who was the only saint who could get onto Mount Kailash. And because see, I think, sir, as humans, a lot of things are there which I think हमें अभी तक उन चीज़ों को छुआ नहीं है, which are untouched. अभी वी लिव इन सिटीज़, तो हमारे लिए कंफर्ट क्या है कि हमारा जोन है, हमारा बिस्तर है, हमारा घर है, हमारे लिए स्विगी आ गया, हमारे लिए राशन का दुकान इधर है, भाई पेट्रोल पंप इधर है, फलाना किराना वाला मेरे को जानता है तो राशन आ जाती है, तो हमारी एक छोटी चीज़ों पे हम जीते हैं. बट आई थिंक एज फौजीज वी बीन एट वेरियस प्लेसेस with varied kind of troops. Like, sir, I come from a battalion where the troops are from Nepal. The most dreaded troops as well as the most humble troops.
Most dedicated.
Dedicated. Yeah. They are such high level dedicated people in terms of, let's say, whether it is in the war in the previous history which you read. One of the example I would like to take is, sir, one of the battalion had one of the chap. So Japanese को कुछ चल रहा था ऑपरेशन, एंड द टीम वाज लेड टू द ऑपरेशन. सो जैसे गोरा था, गोरा के साथ अपना गुरखा था. So he was his buddy, or you call it telephone operator behind him. So he told him, you wait here, we will go there and we'll find what is the recce करके हम आते हैं, and you stay here, we'll come in, when we take you, we'll take you back. That individual stayed back there for, and sir, I'll tell you, he was there for 7 years during that campaign. And the battalion left, everything left, but he was still sitting there. So it shows the level of integrity, the honesty of that man, of his commander's, of his officer's voice, of saying, these are my orders, and he did it till his, whenever he was again recovered and thing. Like, you would also interacted with many of your troops, sir, and our troops are one of the best in the world. There is no doubt about them. The humility they carry, एंड वो अपने हिसाब के लिए सब कुछ कर देता है.
हाँ जी बिल्कुल.
दे आर लाइक, वो अगर मैं उसको बताया कि मेरा फलाना कंपनी कमांडर साहब आज पोस्टिंग आ रहे हैं फ्रॉम वेयर एवर, द मोमेंट यू कम इन, आई नो सर, लाइक इन फौज में होता है कि सीनियर जेसू आज कंपनी कमांडर साहब आ रहे हैं रेलवे स्टेशन के लिए, एमटी में गाड़ी बुक कर देंगे, गाड़ी चले जाएगा.
He would do everything to the T,
Sir.
right? Right from your socks to your shoes, he would know everything. So like we say na ki he knows you more than yourself.
He's like a wife.
Yeah, he actually knows you much more than anybody else.
True that, sir,
right?
true.
Every damn thing about you and
Yeah.
your likings, your hobbies, your choices,
Yeah.
he knows them everything.
Yeah.
And that is the kind of bond we have with our troops.
Absolutely,
right? And the assumption that फौज में ऐसे होता है वैसा, no, it's only about love. If you really ask me, people who say that कि जैसे there's a lot of misnomers ना कि सहायक होता है, उससे काम करवाते
sir. हाँ
हैं.
जी सर, हाँ जी.
Go and ask a guy who is your buddy or सहायक. He will the first one to say कि कुछ चीज़ें मुझे दिल से करनी है, मैं इसलिए करता हूँ.
Absolutely.
मुझे किसी
Absolutely.
का इंटरफेरेंस नहीं चाहिए, मुझे किसी की सिखलाई नहीं चाहिए बाहर से आके कि मैं ये इस अफसर के लिए क्यों कर रहा हूँ. बिकॉज ये जो बहुत सैक्रेड बॉन्ड है ना एक ऑफिसर का उसके सहायक के साथ में, उसके ट्रूप्स के साथ में, इसको समझने के लिए उसको जीना ज़रूरी है.
Absolutely, sir.
जिसने
Agreed.
उसको जिया नहीं, उसके बारे में बोलने के लिए उसने सोचना चाहिए. तो कई लोग आजकल कहते हैं ना कि भाई फौज में इस तरह का माहौल है. आई वुड जस्ट रिक्वेस्ट देम, come and be with us, come and stay with
Stay
us,
with us.
right? Live the life. Like I said, na, army is a way of
Army
life.
is, yes sir.
Live the way
100%.
of life, right? And then you understand what life in army is all about.
That's there, sir, because today, na, because media is open, people do
Yeah,
have
see,
their
freedom
opinions.
of speech is
Freedom of
always
speech is
there. Yeah, I mean, there is no harm in criticism. Good things are always born out of criticism. Yes, do that. But criticism has to be constructive, right?
Absolutely, sir.
Especially for the most sacred and the most pious organization like the armed forces, right? आप जिंदगी में किसी को क्या दे सकते हो, राइट? सबसे बड़ी चीज जो आप दे सकते हो वो आपकी जिंदगी. ऐसी
और
कौन सी
वो
जगह है जहाँ पे आप किसी के लिए अपनी जान दे सकते हो?
exactly, sir.
Right?
In many of the operations, such as like we say na buddy concept,
Yeah.
people for viewers, when we say buddy is a guy who's always with you. When in operations during a war, the buddy of yours, because an officer of the Indian Army is supposed to be reposing of decision making, planning an operation, execution an operation, also, you know, planning such a harsh, planning in such a harsh environment where, you know, he's got a pack of, I think, less time than maybe in minutes, because that's how the war happens, you know, and it's about life of people who are with you. The command of that officer can actually take a life of that man. And here in many histories where our buddies have laid down their life for their officers, because that is the value of trust. In which organization does something like that happen? When we speak so much ill about the system of SAIC or something, this has not been drawn from the British hierarchy or the system of erstwhile military system, but this is a more sheer system of, you know, making I would say more of a military way of standardization of life, where, you know, I think ethical concerns are clear by the officer, by the virtue of he being officer and addressing things what he's supposed to do. The misnomer which is in society must be rubbed off, irrespective what people or what things come up. So, you know, one more thing which I think, sir, I feel is that you now, after 2003, 2008, and that this is 2024, sir.
Yeah.
What's your key takes, which I think, sir, you know, many of them, you know, should be knowing, like I would say Gen Z or generations which are there, which are, you know, today they also feel insecure with the environment because of the number of people doing, like, sir, erstwhile इतना कुछ नहीं था, फौज था या इंजीनियर बन जाता या डॉक्टर बन जाता था, ऐसे चीज़ें था. आजकल तो मीडिया मेन स्ट्रीम हो गया, इंस्टाग्रामर हो गया, आजकल गेम कमा के पैसे कमाते हैं.
There are two words.
Sir.
Opportunity or synonymous choices.
हाँ जी सर.
Right? There are n number of them.
हाँ जी सर.
But equally, there is a flip side, distractions. So when you said all this, they are the only two things. In our times, right? Like you said, the horizon was simple.
Sir.
You want to go to armed forces, you want to become an engineer, you want to become an architect, you want to become a medical guy, right? Limitations.
हाँ जी.
For whatever reason, knowledge कह लीजिए या जो भी है. Then you also had very little distraction. Even imagine, yeah, you and me, we used to wait for 1 week to watch that bloody one movie at 9
हाँ
o'clock.
जी सर. हाँ जी.
Right? है ना? और संडे को सवेरे रंगोली आती थी तो that was like a best thing for us.
हाँ जी सर.
Now imagine today, I mean, you open a YouTube channel, you open Instagram, there is so much for you to get distracted.
Absolutely, sir.
I mean, we all know, and so-called the span of attention, which has
Mhm.
gone down to buddy 4 second, 5 second.
Mm.
So imagine the kind of distraction we have.
Very much, sir.
But then there are opportunities. You can become anything. I mean, why we are sitting here? Because there is something like YouTube exists, and YouTube has become a career. YouTuber has become a career. Podcaster has become a career. So there are opportunities.
Absolutely, sir.
Again, the core is what do you want to do with it, right? You may be given a tool. Now, how do you want to use that tool is your choice.
Absolutely, sir.
So I think for the Gen Z, or whenever when our kids are going to be Gen Z
Yeah,
again,
true that.
right? They ask weird questions. But if you can teach them that, see, you have many opportunities and you have many distractions. Choose a path which you want to choose, but let that be path such that it creates more opportunities for others to be happy. It again boils down to the only same thing, right? If you can choose the right opportunity and make best out of it, it's going to create a lot of happiness for people around you, and that's what is happening. That is a very simple way of looking at these two things. If you leave aside all these distraction, yeah, I mean, there is no way out of it, right? You and me also go to YouTube, go to Instagram. There is no way. It's in your face, है ना? आप उसको avoid नहीं कर सकते.
Absolutely, sir.
Right, but you can still. You and me, we have to practice, and our generation is gonna follow us by observing it. Right? Everyone says kids are the best observers.
Yeah.
They only and only learn from their parents and their teachers and their surrounding. Nothing else. They are not learning from somewhere else from the universe. Right? They learn from us. So if you are busy on our WhatsApp and calls and all those things, तो उसको भी तो कुछ चाहिए. Then he'll ask for a mobile. So that's there.
शायद सर आपको ऐसे नहीं लगता कि शायद सर पहले हमारी एक जॉइंट फैमिली होती थी,
Yeah.
है ना? हर पुरानी फौजी की बात करूँ सर, दोज हु सॉ 71 लाइक माय ग्रैंडफादर, दे ऑल केम फ्रॉम स्मॉल विलेजेस. तो एक छोटी सोसाइटी होती थी. आज टुडे अगेन वी आर गेटिंग बैक टू द स्मॉल सोसाइटी कॉन्सेप्ट. People are also into that trend of joint living concept, and things are again coming back. It's going to be a new fashion, because if you hear a lot about depression, corporate culture and things, so people are fun. If let's say somebody has to go to Bangalore for his job, he's leaving his birthplace, let's say he's from Gurkha, he goes all the way to Bangalore, and again that lot of noise about pollution, vehicle, kya taxi na milna, language issues and so many sort of things. I think sir, इन चीज़ों की वजह से लोग का क्या हो रहा है कि दैट दे आर ब्रेकिंग अवे फ्रॉम दैट कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ जॉइंट विच इज ऑलरेडी नॉट देयर. न्यूक्लियर के बाद दे आर नाउ लिविंग सिंगल्स. हर बंदा अभी अकेला रह रहा है सोसाइटी में. फॉर देम आई थिंक दे हैव नथिंग फॉर हैप्पीनेस, क्योंकि वो क्या कर रहा है, सुबह अपना काम चले जाता है, ही कम्स बैक, ही वेक्स अप एट 10. आई डोंट व्हाट इज द मोटिवेशन का बात है सर, कि व्हाट मोटिवेशन डज ही हैव?
आई विल टेल यू वेयर इट कम्स फ्रॉम. डिप्रेशन का सबसे बड़ा रीजन क्या है?
हाँ जी सर.
When you do not have a person to talk to,
बिल्कुल
what do? Self analysis, self doubt, self criticism, right?
You start.
आप अपने ही बारे में सोच रहे हो, अपने ही वर्ल्ड में हो. When you start becoming a cocooned person in your own world, the word is called depression. There's nothing else.
Correct.
The best way to come out of life, come out of depression, is very simple.
Yeah.
When you leave yourself, see, everybody wants to be the first person, or win the first place. I look at it differently.
Sir,
I say I'm happy as a second person.
Correct.
Right? I'm happy as a second person for many reasons. Right? So I have worked, like I've been in the armed forces for 6 years.
Sir.
वहाँ तो अकेले आप रह नहीं सकते, वहाँ तो बड़ी सिस्टम.
Obviously.
That is again, see, it's so beautifully designed it is, right?
Yeah.
आप डिप्रेशन की बात कर रहे हो, फौज में ये चीजें नहीं होती
है
ना?
True that, sir.
Right? क्यों?
And that too at a places where you live, where there is, I think.
Yeah, you are from
infantry,
the
sir.
infantry,
Yeah.
right? When you go for an operation, overnight operation, right? You sit in buddy place.
Absolutely, sir.
Pitch dark, nothing.
Completely
buddy
dark.
Can't even see 1 feet here.
Yeah.
But who is there with you?
Your buddy, sir.
Buddy. He's on your backside, he's on his back. You're on his back.
Yeah. I remember one of the episodes, sir, that it was my first operation in field area. So I was commissioned to Tangdar, sir. That was a place in so for viewers, Tangdar is in Jammu and Kashmir. Is the farthermost northern place in Kashmir. So as a lieutenant, sir, I got commissioned and I was put into the Gatak team.
You must tell them about the temperature in Tangdar.
Yeah, so it was almost, take it as minus maybe 20 or something like that, and maybe more than that. And you have to pack yourself and go for a ambush. Ambush is an operation of Indian Army. All infantry units in counter-insurgency areas have to perform these duties. So I remember, sir, I went for the operation, and that was the first time. And in academies, of course, you're trained for all these things. There are a lot of rehearsals and
Yeah.
course curriculum based on this.
You are in the live action now.
लाइव एक्शन सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम यू आर कैरिंग वेपन पुली लोडेड है पूरा एक आपका
Yeah.
है बीपीजी पहना है हेलमेट है आपके पास यू वेयरिंग आरआई बूट्स फॉर आरआई इज रबर इंसोल boots which the
So
army
you're
is
fully geared up for the
geared
operation.
up and I'm moving with a team of 6 guys and one is the front guy who goes as a scout. He goes in the front. Then there is one more guy, the UBGL guy, and me, and there is my buddy on back and the radio operator. So I asked him, where is the location? He says, sir, because before team moves, we have briefing, we have map reading, and like you
You've
said,
done
sir,
your homework.
we have done our homework. And roughly, we also know the area and the terrain as such because once you come in, you're also briefed about the area and how depth it is, what is the elevation thing. I remember, sir, I went, so there is a trunk of a large tree because we talk about primary and secondary forest. So if you see in Kashmir, the huge trees which you see, so one of the bark was there for so many years. So that was a typical point for us because उसके साथ ही एक नाला जाता था and those were the infiltrated points कि हो सकता है कि यहाँ से आते थे. And that time was a campaigning as well as मतलब you could not say that, sir. So I remember like everybody is tired, sir. You have very limited strength in post. So वो buddy भी बहुत थक गया था, the guy. So I heard basically a snooze or something, a snore kind of thing. So I saw and I knew that this is not a bear. Obviously, sir, एक और चीज होती है कि
Yeah, you
कश्मीर
may see
वगैरह
a wild animal also.
wild animal or there were panthers and I was
Yes,
afraid
yes.
यार यहाँ कहीं भालू बोलू तो नहीं है. And I have one more, so we will share it again, sir. So what happened was I just just touched him like this मेरे दाहिने कोने से कि भाई कहाँ जा मतलब इन नेपाली ऐसे डर तो दीक्षा के भाई मतलब क्या हो गया क्या हो गया I just did that. सर सब केस है ना he just left. So but if you remember, sir, as an officer ना I used to carry that hot flask team लेके जाता था.
अच्छा.
क्योंकि एक तो सर इतना ठंडा है, it's
I
so temperature is so bad, your hands are frozen, you have a weapon
Yeah.
to hold on, it's a metal.
It's very difficult situations. Yeah.
तो बीच में जब बड़ी पार्टी ब्रेक करती थी और दूसरा ड्यूटी में तो वी यूज्ड टू हैव टी और वापस अपना पोजीशन में आते थे. तो दैट्स हाउ आई कैन रिलेट. मतलब उसमें वो स्पेस नहीं है आपके पास इवन एट दैट
Yeah. So coming back to the point of depression, I would say when you keep yourself, see, when you do not keep yourself as the primary and you keep yourself as a secondary, a lot of things become better. So I'll give an example. Like, see, if you are in the outside world, फौज का तो हमने बात कर ली. If you're in the outside world, I met so many amazing guys. I mean, I met amazing friends. I always say that I'm blessed to meet very good people.
सर
पीपल से कि अच्छे लोगों को अच्छे लोग मिलते हैं. मैं तो कहा हूँ कि मैं उससे भी ज़्यादा लकी हूँ, मेरे को बहुत ही अच्छे मिलते हैं.
सर
मैं जहाँ भी जाता हूँ, आई मेट सो मेनी गुड फ्रेंड्स एंड बियॉन्ड योर इमेजिनेशन. एंड इफ यू लुक एट दीज पीपल, इफ यू कीप देम ahead of yourself in your life, they will give you everything. You don't have to ask. See, when you are ahead, you may have to ask and ask. But when you are secondary, the person who's ahead of you will always be a person who will keep giving you. So always keep
Yeah.
a person ahead of you,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Sure.
Then what happens? Then you are not looking at selfish objectives, right? You are happy with somebody's success, that's great. That's the best thing, right? I mean, it's not necessary always to win.
Absolutely, sir. That is true.
The challenge now is that everybody wants to become the best. But it's okay, you do well. Best की definition नहीं है ना. Best is not comparative.
Yeah, yeah.
Best is your best.
Yes.
Problem is you want to become the best in the world, right? So I mean, if you have heard Tendulkar, if you have Rafael Nadal, if you have seen Federer, they I read a very beautiful thing which one of my postmates sent. तो Steffi Graf,
Steffi
right?
Graf, sir. हाँ.
Steffi Graf से उन्होंने पूछा कि what do you think about your game? People around, what they are saying, play like this. See, I mean, like there are many guys na, in audience, play the forehand like this and all, right?
Yeah.
So she said,
Okay.
the only thing when I'm there on ground which is in my mind is, how can I play a better shot than the previous shot?
Wow.
That's how my game progresses on the field. उसके अलावा मुझे कुछ नहीं सूझता, right? So for her, that is the priority. So similarly, if you can become a better version of yourself from yesterday, that is good enough, right? Let somebody else be the number one, doesn't matter, yeah. No harm.
Why?
Why? I mean, like,
True that, sir.
there was Tendulkar there.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably Kohli will be there. Joe Root will be there. Somebody else will become a number one, right? So it's important that you do not be so self-thinking that you do not see what is happening around you.
Yeah.
So that is the crux. And if you really ask me, open the windows, look outside. If you have nothing to do in your life, just go for a walk, right? There's so much to do.
True that,
like, काम करने के लिए बहुत कुछ है यार.
Like a
समय कम पड़ जाता है. मैं तो पता नहीं समझता. I want to meet so many people in my life. I mean, I don't know where is the time to sit.
हाँ सर, और दूसरा क्या, एक फौजी ना चुप नहीं बैठ सकता है. Like sir, you know, my dwelling into meditation also happened somewhere in 2018. The first time
You were serving that time?
I was serving, sir, in the army, and I was posted in Gandhinagar. That's where I was, Gujarat में था. तो on a छुट्टी annual leave, I said, yeah, let's go to. So I went to Isha,
Isha Foundation,
ashram. Amazing ashram, you know, whatever the people speak or whatever it is. But I had a very good experience of program.
Again, I'll say spirituality is also a very personal thing.
Yeah,
right?
yes, sir.
What others say about your way of life in terms of spirituality should not stop you or should not be a decision making agent.
Yeah, true,
right?
that's true.
I find happiness
Yeah.
sitting at my home
Yeah.
in front of my temple,
Yeah.
and I'm very peaceful.
Very nice.
That is great enough.
Sir.
I somehow connect when I go to a place like an ashram, whichever ashram, right? किसी भी गुरु का आश्रम हो, आप वहाँ जाते हैं, अगर आपको वहाँ पे कनेक्ट लगता है, that is your place.
Yeah.
People go to Himalaya, people go to कुंभ मेला, because उनको वहाँ भी कनेक्ट मिलता है. कुंभ मेला में तुम्हारे जैसे मेरे से लोग जाते नहीं, because हमको लगता है कि यार कितना कियोस होता है. बट आप वहाँ पे जाओ, जो बंदे वहाँ होते हैं, they say कि यार इससे अच्छी जगह नहीं है. So you see, this is a simple thing of connection. Where do you connect with the, I mean, like, the supreme
in fact,
power?
Sir, what I remember out of that is SSB Allahabad. I was in SSB Allahabad.
Yeah.
34 SSB Allahabad. उसका नाम जोजिला है. The tagline for it Jojila. But however, Jojila जो है वो LC company है हमारी OT में. Now Jojila I think has also got male cadets if I'm not wrong.
It's got both.
So I remember sir उस समय ये नहीं था, but I went to the Sangam where the त्रिवेणी तीन नदियाँ का संगम. Like sir,
Saraswati.
one of the सबसे बेस्ट चीज हमें क्या लगती है geography, because we have served in such a different you know, like say
our country is full of so many terrains.
It's an amazing thing, you know, when you walk down the dock, or let's say कोई अगर DBN में posted है, Dera Baba Nanak, and you know there are enclaves.
Yeah.
So it's a very different thing. Canal is a very different thing.
Yeah.
Desert में मैं था तो Marustal which we call Marustal जो बोलते हैं सर.
Yeah.
So वहाँ पे अलग था. When I went to altitude that was different. When I came here it was different. So connecting these, sir, like we spoke about gurus and spirituality and thing, and coming to the far end to the you know last few topics which we will discuss, sir. Now that sir you have come all the way from military, corporate, your learnings through the various, you've interacted with X number of people and Y number of people, you would have learned many things. There are bad things also in society.
Yeah.
What is the way to navigate things, sir? Like see, people get stuck in many things कि मीडिया में भी हो या कहीं पे भी हो, लोग वो उसमें फंस जाते हैं. नो, वो फंसने का कारण होता है वो सेल्फ इंडिविजुअल हो सकता है या कई और कारण भी हो सकते हैं जिसकी वजह से लोग फंस जाते हैं और उससे वो निकल नहीं पाते हैं. You know, generally the crowd, the younger crowd, they get stuck into that small cocoon. You know, they're not able to break that open. Because I think what differs between us and them is sir, हम ज़मीन में बहुत ज़्यादा थे. शायद हमारे मतलब because I am also a फौजी kid, तो मैं हमेशा वो 4 बजे देखता था कि कब दरवाजा खुले और मैं भाग जाऊँ खेलने के लिए. And today that things are not there in society because you see the rapid infra building up.
I'll stop you there only. The word is rapid.
Sir.
Right. You see a natural process of blossoming. Sir. Right. Flowers, butterfly, fruits. There is a journey.
जी.
The challenge is there is no patience for journey.
Yeah.
Today is an instant gratification. There is a journey. I mean, like, let's go to our eras, right? I mean, we are not too ancient, by the way, right? हम just 5-10 साल पहले की बात कर रहे हैं, है ना? But उस समय शायद ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं था कि आपने बटन दबाया और आपको
चीजें आ गया.
You used to go out, go to the market, buy something. So being in a rapid kind of a lifestyle takes you away from that experience. And if you do not have an experience, then you tend to lose every kind of thing which is leading you to be happy.
Yeah.
You will not be happy if you're not seeing the journey,
Hmm.
right? You are just seeing the end result. People
Hmm.
want to jump from end results to the end results
yeah.
to the end results,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
पहले movies 3 घंटे की बनती थी,
Sure.
अब 1.5 घंटे की बनती है.
yeah.
I mean, and we had this patience
Yeah.
to watch a movie like Sholay,
Sholay,
right?
हाँ.
Almost 4.5 घंटे की मूवी थी, उसको कम कर
कम
करके
करके
3 घंटे की
yeah,
बनाएंगे.
yeah.
हम उसको भी देखने के लिए
Sure.
आज भी बैठते हैं.
Yeah.
But that's why, because where it comes from, like, see, we all महाभारत याद है तुझे? जब हम बचपन में महाभारत आता था,
हाँ स्कूल जी हाँ मतलब
मैं
हाँ वी
समय
यूज्ड टू
हूँ,
सी इट इन
right?
DD1 लाइक अ फौजी होम सर हमारा भी
Yeah,
एंटीना होता था मेरे
and
को भी याद है कि मेरे को यू नो माय फादर से जस्ट गो देयर एंड जस्ट दैट चले
adjust it,
करते
yeah.
थोड़ा
Small things.
बट आजकल वो नहीं है
नहीं है,
एनीवेज
yeah.
बट
See, I mean, time is the basis of it,
हाँ
right?
जी सर
We do not have time for anybody,
वेरी ट्रू
right?
हाँ जी
When you do not have time for anybody, be rest assured you are wasting your time. When you have time for people around you, you will have ample amount of time for yourself. Because if you feel कि आज मेरे पास ये टाइम नहीं है, वो टाइम नहीं है, क्यों नहीं है? बिकॉज आपने कभी किसी को कुछ देने की इच्छा ही नहीं रखी. टाइम उसी के पास नहीं होता जिसके पास कुछ देने के लिए नहीं होता. जिसके पास देने के लिए होता है उसके पास सारी दुनिया का टाइम होता है, राइट? So if you really ask me about this Gen Z and everything, it boils down to only one thing.
yeah
Like you said, open the door,
yeah
go outside, meet people, meet any damn guy.
हाँ जी सर
है ना? नीचे कोई बंदा, हम बात करते थे यार, हम अगर साइकिल पंचर बनाने जाती थी, हमारी साइकिल पंचर होती थी, वो साइकिल वाला जो हमारा साइकिल पंचर बना रहा
बिल्कुल
था,
सर बिल्कुल
उसके साथ भी हमारी दोस्ती यारी
हाँ
थी,
हाँ
है ना?
मेरा पहले कर दो
मेरा
टाइप
पहले कर दो, सवार like one, you are giving 1 rupees 50
yeah
पैसा
yeah
to him for a cycle puncture,
yes sir yes
right? But that guy used to smile at you, talk to
की
you,
करता था
everything.
yeah
There
yeah
used to be a conversation. काम तो हो ही रहा है, but today there is nothing like that,
yes
right? So you have to invest your time into conversations, I would say. And if you really see what people are missing to it today is again that feeling of having a conversation, right? A genuine conversation, a heart-to-heart conversation. When that is not there, you will never find any kind of bond. When there is no bond, then you will be alone.
yeah
When you are alone, you will start floating, and that's when you have a problem, right? आप कहते हैं ना, आपको कोई तो हाथ थामने वाला
थामने
मिलना
वाला होना
चाहिए.
चाहिए
यार हाथ थामने वाला तब मिलेगा ना जब आप किसी का हाथ पकड़ने जाओगे.
exactly
So you cannot be like this.
Welcome back, friends. So we have Captain Uday K Shriwas with us. So like we were talking about happiness, so we've got some few last based questions to him, and we'll understand what does he think about it. So welcome back again, and so I've got some reflective and interactive questions for you, sir. So it's like around 3 questions for you.
Sure.
So the first question is, if you could give one piece of advice to someone struggling to find happiness, what would it be, sir?
So I will again what we spoke in the first part of our podcast, I'll take it from there only. If you are looking for your own happiness, then there is a struggle. But if you are looking for happiness for others, then there is no struggle. Pretty simple. A simple logic. And happiness is rewarding. It's rewarding when you do it for others, right? Whatever problems that you are facing, whatever challenges that you are facing, will automatically get wiped away when you go across and offer a helping hand to somebody else. And in their happiness, you will find your own happiness. But if you do ulta, यार पहले मैं खुश होऊंगा फिर मैं किसी और को खुश करूंगा, then there is no end to it.
Yeah.
Right? You have a Santro, you want a Mercedes, right? You have a 2 BHK, you want to have a 4 BHK. From 4 BHK, you want to have a. There's no end to it, right? What is it? It is the happiness, me first. Right?
Yeah.
We always say na ki me first policy. If you have me first, no happiness. If you have everyone first,
Yeah.
then there is happiness. So that's the basic philosophy. Look for others' happiness. Try and bring happiness in others' life. Life is good, and you'll be happy. I can guarantee you. Try it, test it.
Like you said, sir, look for others' happiness.
Yeah.
I think service, like we say, service beyond
Service before self.
Before self
Yeah.
is the motto of OTA Chennai, Officer Training Academy Chennai, and it has been remarkable. Like our parade ground, sir, it's named after Major Parameshwaran, who's a Paramveer Chakra, IPKF, Indian Peacekeeping Mission in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
It's an honor to have such a name, Parameshwaran, sir. Param Ishwaran. आप ऐसे भी कह लो कि परम ईश्वरन. और मतलब कभी-कभी ऐसे लगता है सर, the blogs ना बिठाया जाता है. As a human also, the name and things. See, how does it match thing?
Yes.
परमेश्वरन हम बोलते हैं, परमेश्वरन ड्रिल स्क्वायर बोलते हैं.
Correct.
It's such a,
I mean, like the so-called thing of spirituality and all. It's a
Sir.
divine feeling.
Yeah,
right?
sir.
And again, I'm saying like divinity is beyond any caste, any religion, any subcaste.
Sir.
It's divinity, and divinity is felt.
Yeah.
Right?
True that, sir. Yeah.
You can feel it in your own solitude. You don't need anything else, right? So, right there, Parmeshwaran. I think we were in his.
Yeah.
With all his blessings, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What we see there is what we learn.
Yeah.
You know? And like, whatever you want to learn, you can learn from so many good people. I think we have great leaders in this country. We have great people abroad. I think there's always good people to look up to. Yeah. And we must get inspired from them.
I was fortunate to touch the hands of former President APJ Abdul Kalam, sir. When I was a cadet, at least I could I shook his hand. The warmth and that the great man feeling is not missing, and that you feel it whenever you meet.
You can feel it, yeah.
Yeah.
See, हम उसी को कहते हैं ना aura.
Yes, sir. Yes.
See, when you are next to a person like APJ Abdul Kalam, you can feel the aura. There is a very different vibrance. वो कहते हैं ना frequency जो होता है ना, tong होता था, frequency होती थी. So it's like that. It's an energy which is getting translated from one body to another.
True that.
When we are with someone like APJ Abdul Kalam, I mean, you can start resonating. It's a very different feeling, and that's why I said, what matters is the company. Right? If you are in a company of good people, everything else happens here. अपने आप हो जाता है. Right?
We move on to the next question, sir, which is about what's a myth about happiness, and that you want to debunk. Basically, is there some myth about happiness? Myth can be anything which you feel.
Yeah, I mean, if you really ask me, happiness is being a relative term. People want to relate it to something, but it's not a relative term, I would say. Happiness is a feeling. I mean, it's a feeling which is internal, right? It is completely an individual choice, right? What happiness means to you may not be happiness to me, right? For you, happiness is going out and maybe playing cricket. For somebody else, happiness is sitting inside at his house listening to good music. It's very, very subjective term. And if you want to really ask me how to debunk it, मेरा जो personal agenda है मेरे life में वो simple है. I find happiness only with human beings or like company. When I say human beings, not just any living being, not just human being, I would say. When you have a living being, I mean, everything is a living being for that matter. But when you have somebody around you, you can communicate and you can talk. In Japanese culture, I believe they talk to trees also.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Embrace a tree and all
Yes,
they say.
yes.
So it is so, again, amazing. Right? So finding happiness is very simple. If you want to find it, you can find it in your house also. You may not even find in a best of the concerts also, right? So you have to only find where you are happy. In that place you should be there. For me, I am always happy when I'm with people, when I am surrounded by good company, where something happy is happening, or you are learning something, or you are surrounded by people who are always having gratitude in their life, or they want to give something. So I think yes, for me, if you are in good company, happiness is automatic outcome.
True that, sir. I think gratitude and biggest, I think, smile or happiness is when you serve others. Like,
Yes.
I believe, so when COVID was there, I was here in Pune. My spouse also was here. I remember those times, there were a lot of people who were walking because there was no
There was no vehicle.
there was no vehicle and things. So people used to sit here and there.
Yeah.
So after a week or something, the first restaurant or something opened, and they start, because otherwise there was no cooking happening in any restaurant. So one day I found a thela and they just started because a lot of people were traveling and they didn't have vehicles and they were on foot.
Yeah.
All these mid-age laborers and so on and so forth. I'm talking about Pune here only. So what I found was I was moving to a place after buying something like mask and groceries. You were supposed to not
time
interact.
altogether.
So it was a very difficult time, COVID, But I found happiness after, when I found them, they didn't have any source of food, nobody's allowing them at places. A lot of dharamshalas were closed and things. It opened very lately after that. So, I could deliver some foods to them, and whether they told me thank you or not, but that acceptance of saying that they were in need of something, actually got me something called, what is that? This is at the end, this is what a human was looking at.
Yeah.
And if I could satisfy him, I think that is the happiness I've achieved, like gratitude,
Yeah.
or let's say thank you feeling. I felt really happy serving
Yes.
small parts.
See, I mean, like one thing which is again not allowing people to be happy is because people are not willing to acknowledge,
Mm.
right? You have to have a lot of acknowledgement, small things, right? There is a maid at home, right? She is doing something for you.
Yes.
She's making it with all her heart.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Why can't you acknowledge it?
Yes.
Right? And she is not asking for anything else.
Yes. Yes.
She made a nice
Certainly.
paratha for
Yeah.
you. You can just say कि बहुत अच्छा बना दीदी.
Yeah, that's
Bas nahi
what.
bolna hai.
Yes, yes.
And that can give so much happiness.
Hmm.
And when she is happy, you will see that कि अगला पराठा और भी अच्छा
और
बन
अच्छा बन रहा
जाएगा. You will be happy.
हाँ.
So it is very simple.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to apply the logic, it's very simple.
Hmm.
If you want to make it complicated, there is no end.
Hmm.
Then you can even go to space in a spacecraft, then also you'll not be happy.
Hmm.
But you can stay at home, have a nice cup of tea. That's it. You're happy.
Hmm.
It's very, very subjective, I would say. So happiness can be found anywhere. It is in abundance. There is no dearth of happiness. Just go out and take a small step. It is there for you.
True that, sir. True. Like, sir, we come to the next question out of this. Can you share a book or quote a movie which I think inspired you to be happier, or it may not be movie or an incident or whatever you feel,
Yeah.
sir. Like you want to share that.
Yeah, I mean, like if you ask me, I'm a big fan of मतलब movies तो खैर definitely मेरे life
हाँ
में
जी,
बहुत
हाँ जी.
बड़ा role play करती हैं, and I'm a big fan of music also. I
Oh,
love
nice.
listening to like Indian music,
Mm-hmm.
both Hindi, and I'm from Nagpur, so I know Marathi also. I'm a big fan of Marathi music also. So movie, I mean, like it's very difficult to answer, but yes, in our generation, we've seen some movies which are very good. So all of us, we know that Sholay has been a complete
Yeah.
entertainer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There are so many stories that has come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can watch it any day, anytime. It is a complete entertainer. There is no
Okay.
reason, and I learned a lot from it.
Mm.
There's enough to learn from
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And friendship is the crux of that movie.
Sir.
So like I said, friendship is the crux of happiness also. We can learn from there.
Mm.
So yes, I love that movie. In terms of books, I have read many books, and so I'll give a few books which I feel everyone should read. So somebody who is in a basically creative field, right? Somebody who is into like making documentaries and all. Nowadays, it's like YouTube and all. They should read a book called Creative Confidence. It is a book written by the founder of the most famous, I would say, inventive, creative advertising agency in the world is called IDEO.
What is it about?
Instead of idea, it is IDE. In IDEO is the name of the company.
Okay, right.
So creative confidence is about the way you can make things that it really touches life in a very, very simplistic way. So I'll give an example. In this book, there is a if you've seen those machines, ना जिसमें your body goes inside and the scan होता है, right? There's huge machines जिसमें there's a huge circle जिसमें your body goes inside.
Yeah.
CT scan or
The
something.
MRI, sir. You're talking about MRI. Yeah.
So it's very मतलब डर लगता है ना.
Yeah, sir.
बड़े बंदे भी डर
Yes,
जाते
yes,
हैं.
yes.
Now imagine a kid of 5 years, unfortunately he has some disease and उसका CT scan करना है. वो तो वैसे ही डर जाएगा, उस रूम में कोई नहीं है उसके पास. उसमें आवाज भी आती है अलग-अलग से.
Yes.
So what I think G was the company which made this.
Yes, sir.
So what they did is very amazing. तो they जो kids का जो hospital था, उस hospital में उन्होंने एक पूरा room बनाया. उस पूरे room को उन्होंने जो जंगल बुक है ना मूवी, उसका थीम दिया. मोगली वाला है. एंड जो आपका वो जो पूरा मशीन है, उसके ऊपर पूरे एनिमल्स एंड इसका एंड मतलब ट्रीज का पूरा उसका caricature, painting बना के. Right. So for him, he was entering in a
jungle kind of thing.
Jungle book.
Oh, nice.
But then he was not happy. He had so many things to look around. So see, काम तो हो ही रहा है ना. Yeah. So this is what is called making something really easy. I mean, इतना बड़ा काम जो कर रहे थे लोग, उसको कितने अच्छे तरीके से कर दिया. So that is about creativity. So creativity has no end to it, and this book is really good. People should read. This is an example from there only. Creative confidence. And the guy who is the founder of IDEO, he and Steve Jobs, they were the best friends. So एप्पल का जो पहला दैट कैंडी वाला जो
Yeah,
डेस्कटॉप
yes,
बना था,
yes, 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 sir.
वो इन दोनों ने साथ में मिलके इस पे
Okay,
काम किया था.
okay,
So
okay,
that is the background,
okay. Nice, nice, sir, nice.
right?
Yeah.
And there's another book again from the movies world. डिज्नी के जो सीईओ रहे हैं,
Sir,
उनकी बुक है.
sir.
And I'm forgetting the name of the book, but it's a beautiful book. He was the CEO of Disney for a very long time, and he talks about his conversations with Steve Jobs, right? And that is an amazing book. You must read that book. About there's so many narrations about incidences and all, how Disney became big, how they acquired so Pixar and all those things. बड़ी अच्छी book है. So one should read that book also. And the very common book which everyone must read is there are two common books which everyone would have read, but I would still say one must read is Who Moved My Cheese.
Who
So,
Moved My Cheese? Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very basic. जिसने कभी कोई book नहीं पढ़ी है वो at least ये तो
Yeah,
पढ़ ही
yeah.
सकता
Who
है.
Moved My Cheese? Yeah, yeah.
Then second is of course The Alchemist.
Yeah,
Again,
Alchemist.
so these are the two books which one can read. Somebody wants to read a book which is brilliant and most celebrated author is Black Swan.
Sir.
Black Swan is a book by Anand Taleb, and it's a mathematical philosophical book, right? And one can read it, and it's got amazing
Some
vocabulary.
derivation, sir, or what is it about? It's about...
No, so Anand Taleb is a mathematician who is
Okay.
into the world of finance, and this is a learning of life.
Okay.
He talks about, so what is Black Swan?
Okay.
Right? So Black Swan is a concept, now, right? So till the time we never saw a black swan, we always thought the swans were white,
Yeah.
right? Only when we saw a black swan,
Then you
we
started...
realized there's a
okay.
black swan. So COVID was somehow a black swan incidence. हमें कभी लगा ही नहीं था कि ऐसा कुछ होगा कि पूरी
Something will come,
दुनिया
yeah.
रुक जाएगी. But then it happened.
It was in a tinker.
Yes. So that is the philosophy of this book.
Okay.
The black swan.
Right, sir.
जब तक कि वो होता नहीं है तब तक ये एक ही नहीं होता. जब वो होता है then it becomes a
Nice.
incidence. तो black swan theory कहते हैं या black swan कहते हैं. So that is a book. Anand Taleb, you must read that book.
We must.
Everybody should read that book.
Sir.
Difficult to read because it takes a lot of time to understand the book. You may have to read the same page again and again and again. And in this book, there is a very famous quote. You don't know what you do not know.
Oh, is it? Yeah. An apt quote, actually.
If you try and say it, it's very difficult. You do not know what you do not know. Right? So,
yeah.
उस पूरी book का summary इसमें है. Unless and until you have not seen something by your own eyes, you don't trust it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Till that time you think कि भाई ऐसा ही है. जब तक कि इंद्रधनुष नहीं दिखा, तब तक कि वो 7 कलर नहीं पता चले. Right? When you saw the rainbow, then you saw the 7 colors.
Yeah, yes.
Right? अगर नहीं दिखता तो शायद पता ही नहीं चलता. So you have to see it to believe it. So that is how this book is, and it's a beautiful book. You can read this book again. And there are many other. I mean, like now, though, there are flurry of books, I would say. I read some amazing books and all. I love reading Shantaram. It's a
Shantaram.
book. Fantastic book. Long book. And it's a beautiful story. Travels the whole world.
Yeah.
Very well, I mean, fiction है या autobiographical कह नहीं सकते, but हाँ, बड़ी अच्छी story है. So yeah, I mean, all these books, you can read all these books. Yeah.
Right, sir. So, getting back to the next question, like you said, happiness. So, is it a daily thing of happiness, or let's say, what are 3 things, sir, which made you happy today? Let's, just assuming that, happiness being a question. So, a person has to be happy every day or every moment, let's say. So, just say 3 moments or 3 things which I think has derived happiness in you in today's.
So, you're talking about the day part?
Yeah, day part. So that, people realize to the micro level also how happiness also is part of the day, time, hour, minute, seconds, and so on and so forth.
See, I mean, if you ask me, I said I'm a people person. I'm a social guy. I love meeting people. So one good thing that happened with me today is that I could come here. I could spend time with you. I could meet the complete team behind this podcast and learn so many things from them, right? And made some new friends. So if you really ask me, first is an experience of sharing something which I said, if you share, you feel happy. So that is one. Second, being part of this whole event, right? Whatever that me and you are doing through this podcast, right? We just want to convey a few messages.
True that.
We don't want to like become Amitabh Bachchan here.
Yeah, certainly
right.
that.
So, but in our own way, if we can resonate with some of the youngsters or anybody can resonate with what we are talking about, right? It's a conversation. There are some tidbits here and there people can pick up. And if that message goes to few people, I think that is a objective achieved,
Yeah.
right? That is another reason I will be very happy because I can be part of this whole affair.
Yeah.
And of course, I look at this as an opportunity for me to now go back and see what all things I can improve upon. Right? Every event that happens with you gives you a chance to reflect. Like you said, na reflection होना
Reflection.
चाहिए.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So you get a chance. See, जब तक एपिसोड नहीं होता या इवेंट नहीं होता या जब कोई चीज नहीं होती उसके बारे में आप फिर रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं कर
Yeah.
सकते. रिफ्लेक्शन पॉजिटिव वे में होना चाहिए. The so called guilty feeling वाला नहीं होना चाहिए. ठीक है?
Yeah.
You should have a reason to reflect back and take home some lessons. While we are trying to share some lessons, we also have lots of lessons learning from this interaction. So like I said, I mean, meeting new people, that is one. Able to share something what I have learned in my life, that is second. And overall, this episode or this event allowing me to take back something to reflect upon is the third thing. These are the three things I would say. I feel very happy that it's a day well spent.
Yeah.
And I can now be happy कि ठीक है आज कोई ढंग का काम किया है. So yeah, I'm happy with that things.
Perfect, sir. It was a great answer, which I think you don't need a classical classroom learning to but it's all experiential which you shared, and it's an amazing thing, sir, which I asked you, and we could go from I would say a semicircle. We followed a path and we finished to this extent of talks. Thank you, sir. It's been amazing that we could speak to you and cover a lot of aspects, and I think there are more to speak, more to learn from you with your experience and with your works which you've done for short service officer who take release and come out to join corporate. Your understanding which you give it to them is a great bonus to them, sir. We all look for that, and all youngsters who are still serving, who will probably get released in another few years, who are looking out to come and serve society again. Like you mentioned, whether you were in army or outside, you're still serving society.
Yeah.
And I think the important part is your label. That OTA thing which I noted, that I think I don't know whether the camera is able to see that.
This is
So there is a
a
label.
this is a story
Sir,
actually.
what's the
So,
story behind that, sir?
so this is not available outside.
Yeah, I know, sir.
So
मतलब it's unlike.
कहते ना कि इस आपका प्यार है.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
तो this मेरा बहुत बड़ा प्यार
It's a
है.
love.
तो
Yes, sir.
मैंने one of my vendor, he makes those brass labels.
Great, sir. Great.
So I gave him designs and I said मैंने कहा ये
Yeah.
मेरे designs से किसी से share नहीं करना.
Right, right.
And he made 3 of them.
Okay.
So I have 3 of them.
Right.
You will not find it anywhere else.
Oh, is it, sir?
So one is in a black background, which is
Which
matching
is
here.
yeah.
Another is जो हमारा OTA का color है.
Yeah.
Blood red and maroon
Yes,
type
sir.
का combination है.
Sir.
एक उस बैकग्राउंड में है और एक अगर आप OTA का अगर सिर्फ लोगो देखते हैं तो सिर्फ वो बिना किसी
Yeah,
बैकग्राउंड
just the crest.
So I have 3 of them.
That's nice, sir.
So everyone
That
who looks
surely shows the love to the academy, sir,
Yeah.
from where you come. Because like people, for friends, when we say why military personnel are so attached to their home where they trained, is because that's where their journey began to a life, a path where he had to serve the country. So that is the temple of learning, where he learns, and also sacrifice, because many who have trained there have have laid down their life to this mother country, and so we consider it privilege, and so what you see on a lapel pen is just
I
sheer
think-
love.
I'll just last comments from my side, and I'll give an analogy. So the book which I spoke about, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, I don't know, especially for those who understand Marathi. Right? I come from Maharashtra. I love this language. Though in my family we speak
True
in
that, sir.
Hindi,
True that, sir.
but I would like to share this with our people. In Marathi, there is a very famous bhajan. Abang kya lo ya bhajan kya lo. And
Could you like give that word?
I'm not a great singer, but I'll
could you
just sing those lines.
Yes, sir.
It talks about a bird again and human.
Yes, sir.
So, आकाशी झेप घेरे पाखरा
Okay.
तोडी सोन्याचा पिंजरा. So in little words it means कि आकाश की तरफ उड़ने की कोशिश करो और जो सोने का पिंजरा है जिसमें आप बैठे हो उसको तोड़ो.
Oh, right.
Right?
Okay.
That the golden.
Got it, sir.
That's the crux. Now, if you the book I told you about that my son and me we both read, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and if you listen to this, and I realize it, right? I listen to this bhajan most of the times in the morning.
Nice, sir. Nice.
And I was listening to it, and then suddenly it realized मैंने कहा यार this bhajan and this book
Hmm.
they are same.
Same. Hmm.
I don't know, मतलब इसने उसको कहाँ से आया कि वो
How did
यहाँ
you
से आया?
connect? Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, but
Hmm.
if you see both of them,
Hmm.
and they both of them have come from an old age.
Right.
The book has been written a long time back,
Yeah.
and this is a black and white era.
Hmm.
This bhajan is a black and white era, and that's an amazing analogy.
Hmm.
So I always say, books also talk to each other.
Mhm.
A lot of people do not know.
Hmm.
So, Creative Confidence, which I told you, has a mention of Anand Taleb in that book. So you see,
How is it mixer?
you-
How?
you read,
Yeah.
there are five incidences of such kind wherein I'm reading one book.
Uh-huh. And
There's
then you.
another, there's another book called Psychology of Money. Psychology of
Psychology of
Money
Money. Yes, yes.
by Michael Mogler.
Yes. Yes.
It has a mention of Anand Taleb,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
So that's why I say now books talk to book,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So we all talk to each other. And if you see these two, they are not even connected.
Hmm.
But look at the message. Here also it says the same thing. This is a bird, which is seagull. Seagull by tendency don't fly. They don't want to take that long jump. And here also there's the same thing. As human beings, we are so confined, our cocoon, like I said, we don't want to break the golden cage because the golden cage looks so beautiful. But when you go out of the golden cage, then you realize there is so much to explore. So I think if you look at it,
Yeah.
that's the crux of
Crux
again
of yes, sir. Yes.
being happy.
Right, sir. So, thank you, sir, for deep engaging thoughts of your happiness quotient. It's unlike, yeah, there's a lot of content available for military thing and thing. These are some contents, generally people don't speak about, or, lately, when you run through personal contexts about happiness, your experiences actually really tinker people's mind. So, like we are all today's learners, or let's say we are those today's era's learners where we learn from media. Media has been a great source of learning for us. Thank you, sir, for being part of this journey. So, viewers, thank you for being with us in this episode with Captain Uday Shriwas and dwelling into such a wonderful topic of happiness. Thank you, friends, for watching this video. If you liked such contents, please like, share, and subscribe. For any such questions you may have, please drop it in the comment box below. Thank you. Have a lovely day.